Hi, my name is Christine Von Lossberg, and I'm going to read a story I wrote to you called Margaret's Little Friends. When Margaret went to the pet store to pick something out, she decided it was going to be some kind of a bird. She went back to the pet store where all the birds were in cages. They were all very beautiful, but Margaret felt so sorry for them because they were stuck inside cages. She went from cage to cage. Each one of the birds would squawk, treat, or sing to her. There were so many of them. She made it to the cage that had the parakeets. So many colors. So beautiful they were. She hadn't noticed it at first because she was so busy looking at the other ones, but there it was. A very small yellow and green one sitting at the end of the top perch. "It's so tiny, isn't it cute?" Margaret said to herself. She went and got the pet store man and told him that it is the one that she wanted. The pet store man, whose name is Willie, said, "Oh, honey, you don't want that one. She's just a runt." "Yes, I do. I think she's so cute and really special because she's so small," Margaret said. "Well, if you already made up your mind, I guess I can't change it for you," Willie replied as he found a little net to catch her with. "I think that she will be lonely all by herself, don't you, Willie?" Margaret said. "Well, to tell you the truth, yes, I do. Who wants to be all by themselves with no one to play with, right?" Willie asked. "That's exactly right. I am an only child, and I wish I had a sister or brother to play with." "Well, then, who's it going to be? There's a very handsome gentleman over there. See him? The blue and white one?" Willie pointed to the second perch. "He is very handsome. Do you think they like each other?" Margaret asked. "Oh, yes. I see them kissing all the time," Willie laughed. "Do you So what do you think? Baby girl and pretty boy?" He raised his eyebrows and smiled. "Absolutely, yes!" Margaret jumped and clapped her hands. Willie went and got the two parakeet boxes, one for each. He came back and got his little net and opened the door to the cage. Margaret watched as he very carefully caught the first boy, then the little girl. All the other parakeets started singing to them as they were singing, "Goodbye, have a good life. It was nice knowing you. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Take care, be good." You could hear the little replies coming from the boxes. Now it came time to pay the bill. Margaret got some food for them and a few toys, but just couldn't bring herself to buy a cage. Somehow she would think of something. She very carefully carried them home and talked to them through the boxes. They talked right back to her, which was a good sign. Soon she was on her street. She passed one of her friends' house, and they came running out to see what she had. "Hey, Johnny! Hey, Margaret! What do you have in there?" "One of those boxes was the smallest parakeet in the world in it. The other one is her boyfriend," Margaret said with pride. "Wow! Can I see?" Johnny couldn't wait. "No, I have to bring him home. I don't have a cage for him," Margaret explained. They walked down the street together, and Johnny held the seeds in one box. Soon they were coming to their house. She could see her daddy working in the front yard. "Hi, Daddy! Wait till you see what I got!" Margaret yelled. "What did you get?" Daddy wiped his brow. "Some Chinese food?" He laughed. "Oh, Daddy," she just rolled her eyes. "They are parakeets, and the one is the littlest one you ever saw, and the other one is her boyfriend. I spent my birthday money on them. Wait until you see them." Margaret was so excited. "What about a cage? We don't have a cage," Dad said. "Oh, Daddy, I know. I felt so sorry for those birds all cramped up in their cages. What should we do?" Margaret almost began to cry. Johnny just stood there looking anywhere but at Margaret. on the brink of tears. "Well, where do the birds live?" Johnny asked. "In trees, silly," Margaret lit up. "That's right, in trees," Daddy said. "But if I put them outside in a tree, they would just fly away." Again Margaret felt dismayed. Daddy perked up his eyebrows as if he had a big idea. Margaret knew that look well. Her daddy was always coming up with great ideas. "What is it, Daddy? Got an idea?" Margaret hoped. "Follow me to the backyard. Come on, hurry." Daddy hurried them down the driveway to the backyard. Margaret and Johnny both smiled as they watched Daddy go over to the branches he just cut down from the tree. He picked out some really good ones and laid them down on the lawn. "See? Trees!" Daddy laughed. Margaret and Johnny were still not sure what he was up to. They just kept watching as the birds were singing in their boxes. Daddy took off most of the leaves on the branches and made sure only the good sturdy branches were left. Then he went into the garage and got some hooks, a hammer, and a little chains. "Come on, kids, follow me," Daddy said as he carried everything into the house. Soon they were in Margaret's bedroom with everything. And guess what her daddy did? He hammered the hooks on the ceiling, then he hung the chains from the hooks, and then he hung the branches on the chains. "It's a tree!" Margaret laughed. "Well, it's the best I could do, honey," Daddy hugged her. Soon Mommy came in and said, "Hey, what's going on here?" Everyone laughed. "What do you mean?" they all said at once. Soon Mommy got the whole story, and it was now time to let the little parakeets loose on their new trees. First the little boy. Well, he went right for it and began to rub his beak on the wood. Then the little girl was let out, and she flew right up there too, and nuzzled his feathers with her tiny beak. "What about food and water? Where are they going to put the food and water at?" Margaret was said, a bit worried. Mommy said, "Hey, I got a great idea. I'll be right back." Then she left the room in a flash. Next thing you know, she came back whistling with two baskets in her hand. One had a bowl of water in it, and the other one poured the seeds into. She carefully hung them on the branches, and within a minute both birds were investigating and having a bite to eat. Within days, Margaret found some ribbons, little bunches of leaves, and other things that she hung on the branches. They also had put paper on the floor for you know what, but it was okay. They were not in a cage. They were so happy in their little tree. They really loved Margaret too. They would sit on her finger and fly over and sit on her head. She named them Nina and Bo. They really were her special little friends. Margaret was never lonely again because, as it turned out, she taught them how to speak English. It wasn't long after that they told her to get some stuff and they could make a nest with it. Little Nina laid two small eggs, and soon Egbert and Eve were born. She gave them to Johnny when they were big enough to fly the coop. The end. Okay. I hope you liked it. Bye.